Today, I would like to talk a little bit about your car's extended warranty. Welcome back to the Mr. McNugget Show. I hope you're doing well. Today, I want to talk about Halloween 4. It's another one of the greats, in my opinion, as far as this franchise is concerned. It's one I've watched many times as well. It's actually one that I do have a number of copies of because I collected a lot for this movie as a young adult and into adulthood. And this is one where it kind of gets into that ground of sameness because there's not a lot added in each iteration of this film until you get to a certain point into the DVD format. And then into Blu-ray. Well, actually, really the Blu-ray is the only thing that started getting more things added to it as far as formats go. But this is one that I did have a couple of copies on VHS. I just had my eyes peeled for things like this. Remember Suncoast Video? That was a big one. I would always peruse shelves of Suncoast Video because I wasn't looking on the internet at this time to see when different releases of movies were coming out. And I'm sure a lot of you were the same way too. You would just kind of peruse shelves and see what you could find, which I really miss those days where you could just kind of go out and be pleasantly surprised by what you found on the shelves. And oftentimes I was pleasantly surprised by what I found. And so here I have my copies of Halloween 4. And this is the first copy of Halloween 4 I got. And it's coincidentally the one that I like the most. And what do you think, Henry? Do you like this? Is this good? You think so? He gave it a sniff, so that must mean something good, right? Coincidentally, I love the artwork here because it is just the artwork that is on the actual movie poster. This is an interesting little piece as far as the history of this movie, in my opinion, though, because this is a case of false advertising. This is a scene that is, it is a painting, and it's a very good painting, but it is a scene from Halloween, the original. You can tell by the house over here, I believe it's the Wallace house, and obviously the mask from the first film. And when you watch Halloween 4, you immediately realize that this is not anywhere near what the mask looks like in this movie at all, and they do not go to this house in this movie at all. Regardless, though, it does make for a very striking image. I love the blue hues behind the shape's head and around the house in the background. I like how prominent that face is because it is a very striking kind of sobering image as far as, you know, this frightening creature that you see in front of you. So I've always really appreciated this. I also kind of like this old school CBS Fox Video logo for some reason. It just always catches my eye. It's kind of like that media logo we talked about with the first movie. This is just always something that grabs me when I look on my shelf, and there it sits next to Halloween 5, who also has this release label on it as well. And again, I mean, if you visited any rental store and rented this movie, you probably rented it with this case over top of it or sitting on front, or however the video store did what they did with the original artwork from the, you know, the VHS cases. So it's just like a time capsule to me. And actually, I don't know if any of you ever done this before, but these old cases, have you ever taken a little sniff in there? It smells like the past. You know, it has a very distinct smell to it. Actually, that kind of smells like farts. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and the most ghoulish mass murderer in history has been in a coma for 10 years. But tonight he's awake, and Halloween has never been more terrifying. This is the start of the trend where Michael Myers gets moved from maximum security on Halloween Eve. I'm not sure why they do such things, but they do. And of course, Mikey decides that he's going to come alive during that transition, and the rest, as they say, is history. This movie is one of the ones that has some characters in it that I really, really like. Bucky's one, poor guy working on the power lines, the power grid, and gets completely zapped. That's one that we all know if we really love this movie, but the character that I would like to see fleshed out in Halloween 4, and maybe even have his own movie, is Ted Hollister. You know, the boys from down at the bar they go out looking for Michael Myers because they're going to take the law into their own hands, and they see a bush moving in the distance and just unload as many rounds as they can out of their shotguns. And they go over, and the bar owner Earl and his buddies, they look behind the bush, and one of them calls back, "Damn it, Earl, it's Ted Hollister." I think Ted deserves, at the very least, some kudos for sacrificing his life for my entertainment. And I can only think that his own feature length would be the way to go for that. So if anybody out there is listening to this, I have gifted that idea to you. I don't know what you could call it. Ted Hollister, a Halloween story. Ted Hollister died in a Halloween movie, not at the hands of Michael Myers. Ted Hollister. His name's Ted Hollister, and that's just a cool name. Do with it what you will. I gift that to you. Now on to the next copy of Halloween 4 on VHS that I have is this collector's edition that is brought to you by the folks over at Anchor Bay. Anchor Bay is another really big one here, but at least Anchor Bay, well, I don't want to go, you know what, I don't want to go too far. On the back here, you can see there's that image. They have cut out the house in the background here. Don't know why, but they have, and they've kind of curled the text around that. Now do we have special features on here? No, there's no special features on here. It just says that it's presented in widescreen, digitally mastered, features enhanced ProLogic surround sound, theatrical trailers. Okay. And they appear after the film's conclusion. So if you theatrical trailers, that's big back in the days of VHS, so that's great. But Anchor Bay kind of Anchor Bayed it a little bit, and on the front. Now, okay. So they've split up the original artwork here. You've got the mask from the original artwork on the back, but we do have the house on the front. Again, this is not in the film. And I will give them credit here. I don't know that I like this repeating funhouse mirror image here of 4 Michael Myers is in a row, but at least it is the actual mask from the film. So you have that. Got one of these really nice clamshell cases here, which is it's stellar. And it says Halloween 4 Collector's Edition. They Roman numeraled it, which is odd considering it's not been Roman numeraled in any other form or format, but it is on the cassette tape here. For clearer picture, adjust tracking on your VCR. So in case you didn't know that, we used to actually have to adjust the tracking to get the best picture, although most of my auto-tracking VCRs did the job just fine. On DVD, I have, again, an Anchor Bay version of this. Now, as you can see here, Anchor Bay's decided to remove everything else and just zoom in on that mask that is not in the film and remove everything else around it. We've lost all the blue hues. It's not terrible. It is pieces of the original artwork, but here it is. And then on the back you have a really pivotal scene here. I really do like that they put that on the back. I think that's a really nice image for the back of the artwork here. And we have features now. We have, of course, the widescreen formatted for 16:9 television. Halloween 4 Final Cut, which is an all-new 17-minute documentary. Produced and directed by Mark Cerulli. So, I mean, and this is good. This was, especially at the time when this came out, I was thrilled to have that documentary on there. And then a theatrical trailer is on there as well. Overall, this was an okay release, and at the time, I was really thrilled with it. One of the things I really did love about it, though, was that on the inside, they used to put these chapter selection cards in, which is something that you don't see today, obviously. I mean, instruction manuals in games and things like that, they don't come anymore, and so you get like a picture of the shape from the film. But this is great. I mean, this is a little cardstock piece that I just think it's cool for a collector such as myself, where you have an actual piece like this that looks just like the poster looked, even with that nice white line around the border. Really great. Still inside here, still in excellent shape. So I love that they included that. Even though it's inside a case and I only look at it once in a great while, it still kind of brings a smile to my face whenever I open this case up and see it in there, even though I don't really watch the DVD version anymore. It's just another reason why having this stuff is just important to it. You know, a geek like me that likes to collect stuff in my hands. Moving to the Blu-ray side, this is where this is a great copy of this movie. First off, this Blu-ray right here. This is another Anchor Bay. So this is the last Anchor Bay solo endeavor before they joined up with Shout Factory. So this is not good artwork as far as I'm concerned at all, because all they did was decide to add some flames from a charcoal briquette commercial to the background of the original artwork, when they all should know at this point that the audience you're pandering to just wants what was originally on the poster or the VHS. But, you know, whatever, it happens. And then on the back, again, you know, he's surrounded by charcoal briquette flames. It just doesn't make any sense. There is nothing in this movie on fire. I could almost see it for Halloween 2. There's a cat's butt. But I can't see it for this film. There are no flames to be had in this film. It also has audio commentary from Ellie Cornell and Danielle Harris, along with a friend of mine, Justin Beam. He did an audio commentary with Dwight Little, the director of this movie, which is fantastic. Justin does great audio commentary work anyway, because he gets great conversation out of people, but Dwight is awesome on this track, and it's something you will really gain a lot of appreciation for this movie by listening to that audio commentary on here. It also has a discussion panel and the theatrical trailer. So the 17-minute documentary has been removed, but there has been some more features added to it. And then the last thing that I have is the one that you've seen so far in every one of these videos that I've done, which is the Scream Factory set version in the black Blu-ray case, and it has all of the same special features that I just mentioned to you before. It actually has the original artwork just like before, and then let me double check back and see. Yeah, they decided to go with the same imagery on the back as the first Anchor Bay DVD release. So pretty good choices there overall, I believe. And on the inside, again, this is just another one of those one-discers here. So hey, no complaints here from this guy. I mean, I feel like Halloween 4 has been done pretty well as far as the iterations of the movies coming out. I haven't taken any time to talk about the 4K restorations yet, because I don't own any of them yet, but will I own another copy of all of these movies up through Part 5? Only time will tell. See you next time on the Mr. McNugget Show, and have yourself a good one.